What's up, Deck Doctors? Bringing you a BT8 deck list for Blue Hybrid. I've been getting a lot of requests for this deck list, so I thought I'd finally do my commentators a solid and give them a deck list with my typical ramblings of whatever comes to my mind first, I guess. I appreciate the support, and if you want to see the channel grow, let me know what kind of other things you're looking for in a YouTube video of Digimon. So I'm having a lot of fun with it, so here you go. I will be including some theories, some combos that I love doing, explaining routes and things like that. And I have included some text for the EX02 format because we know that's in everybody's hands now, and we got to start worrying about those decks across the meta, right? So start things off really simple. We got 2 Bokomon. It's really a small engine for the deck. He's just a supporter for the deck. Being able to dig for 5 is always valuable. And then his secondary effect, to gain 2 memory when you digivolve on to a top of a tamer, just lets you extend your plays so much. There are a lot of times where things get really awkward, and I'll explain that as I go, but fundamentally, he's only at 2 because there's a lot of times where you will sit there and you will have the choice. Do I play the Boko or do I play the tamer? And a lot of the times you kind of have to play the tamer instead of Boko. And so he kind of just sits in your hand for like a little bit and waits for a while, because it's really hard to play Boko and then on the next turn play a tamer, and now that tamer can't swing because it was played that turn. So you don't really get the effect of Boko on time. And so it's really like, it takes a few turns for the setup to work. I don't know. So that's why it's only at 2. There's a lot of awkward moments in the early game where like he's just not a great hard play. After that, this is Blue Hybrid. I advocate for people to not skimp out on rookies. The normal amount of rookies a deck should be playing is around 13 to 14, so you don't want to brick. However, Blue Hybrid can get away with that. Hybrid decks in general can get away with that because when you think about it, their tamers are rookies, so it lets them skew the numbers a little bit. But like I said, being able to raise in the back and promote on time or when you need to, every time you need to, is invaluable. Like it always puts pressure on your opponent, and we're an aggro deck and we have to get there. And I should explain, this is my anti-Tommy list. We are not running any Tommies or any Korikakumons. I'm just not a fan of the play style. Like obviously, like when I say that, I'm not saying it's a bad deck, right? It was topping Blue Hybrid format was a thing forever. I just didn't feel like that was really Blue Hybrid. It was more of like Blue Stun, and a real Blue Hybrid deck would be playing the Strabis, would be playing Magnas, and playing that game. Whereas Blue Hybrid was just like, I'm gonna limit all your resources until I win, and it just wasn't fun. So we're playing the full package, all 12 Strabimon available to this one. You always want to hard play this one for the search. You always want to digivolve this one in raising, and then this one's in the middle. Sometimes this is great to digivolve in the middle, or digivolve in raising, or just hard play to search for a Koji or a hybrid. Or Susanoo. Is inheritable. There's so many cheeky things you can do with it. I guess I'll follow up. This is where I'll start my combo plays, I guess. The first champion we play is not that one. I don't like that one. Play 4 Lobomon, the classic. Some people will have you believe that Kumamon, just because it has an effect, is a little better than Lobomon, but Lobomon is a wolf. And he's obviously better because he has a level 6 and his level 5 isn't a penguin. So, I mean, let's just think about that for a moment. Clearly better. He's also 5k, and that's the real thing I wanted to talk about. Right now, Imperial is one of the best decks. Everybody's seeing it. Everyone's playing against it. You got to learn how to deal with it. There are so many times where Imperial stumbles. They don't instantly have the right memory or the right cards in hand, but they'll have the XVmon in back. So what will happen is they will raise and they will swing with the XVmon and then just pass turn in some type of way. Play a tamer, play a Stingmon, hoping they can get the play later. But Important thing is that that XVmon's sideways. If it's turn 2 and you promote and Digivolve into Lobomon, you can now swing over their XVmon without losing the body. If this is Kumamon, you lose the body. The Kendo Digivolves for 3, makes things awkward for you. Now, you don't always guarantee to have 3 memory to swing over their XVmon. So this just makes the play cheap, the play efficient, and you can swing over their guy every time. Kumamon will let you do that without having to trade the body, so that's why I like the Lobomon. 5k somehow becomes relevant in this format because of that matchup, and the Gado too. So there's a lot of 4k champions now that like kind of have been chilling around that this guy can swing over or kill insecurity, and that's why I love it. The next champion we play is for KendoGarurumon from BT7. Gives this Digimon jamming is so crucial for a lot of the little plays you can do in this deck. For example, one thing I always love doing is it's my turn 1. I got lucky enough to, doesn't have to be this one, but it's amazing if it is. Digivolve in the back, Digivolve this for 2, pass your opponent 2. They play, no matter what's gonna happen, they're gonna put you to 1 because it's not your turn unless you're put to 1, right? You come out, Digivolve for 1, swing with jamming, and this body's gonna live, and now they're in an awkward spot. You gain memory for the attack, refunding the KendoGarurumon, and then after that you can Digivolve the BT4 Beowolf on top, putting your opponent to 2, and just making your play safe, because they can't swing into this now without dealing with it in some kind of awkward way. And it's just always strong, and it's always good, and I love that play. The other thing I like doing is, if it's this Strabimon, there are so many times where I feel like this is where it gets like really intricate in terms of like how the turns have been going, but there are times where I'll have Boko, and I raise a stack like this with this Strabimon that lets me drop Koji. I found Koji off of Boko, and then I swing into the XVmon or whatever it is, or I swing into security jamming. Now I'm making their play awkward. How are they going to deal with my board? They can bounce the Boko. Typically I'm choking them, or they don't have enough memory to deal with everything, or ideally not. But either they're going to deal with Boko, right? Get some of this stuff out of the way. They're going to deal with Boko, or they deal with this stack. If they deal with this stack, I get my Koji, and now I have Boko live with a Koji that can swing that turn. Huge. It gives you, it just keeps you up on resources and bodies on the board. Like, they had to spend resources to kill this body, but in doing so, they gave you another body, right? They gave you a Koji, which can Digivolve into another one of the Kendos, or bounce whatever they use, or you're gonna have the extra memory, so then you can go into the BT7 Beowolf to bring this back, swing into their guy, or bounce their guy, whatever it is. It just, having this board state, just these two, just makes your opponent has to think about it, unless for some reason they have like Atomic Blaster to cleanly kill this, and then at that point, you know, whatever they have it. You can't complain. But that gives you a lot of memory. Just things to think about. There's just so much things to think about when it comes to little plays like that. So let me clean this up. As you saw, we play for level 5s, we play at least one Beowolf BT6 or BT4. This Beowolf just keeps getting better. Every format I have to explain to people that you cannot swing into this guy, but I forgot that we also play 3 champions here. We play 11 champions. We don't really like Kumamon. He is not better than Lobomon. However, he's a cheap Digivolution. So I've tried playing the BT4. I've tried playing the BT4 Kendo. It's just, Digivolving for 3 is expensive. And being able to Digivolve in the back cheaply and efficiently just sometimes is the play. And so we have to, I don't want to break on champions, so we play 11 champions. So that's it. We have to play a couple Kumamons to keep my numbers right. Beowolfmon. Every format I have to explain that this guy's getting better. People can't swing into him, freaks people out. It forces your opponent to expend resources on a level 5 that's already generating resources every time it swings. So it's going to swing with jamming. Unless it hits an option, you're great. And it's just going to be a body until they deal with it with an option. So we played 2. And then the star of the show when it comes to level 5s and combos is Beowolfmon. Not once per turn, can swing, bounce a card under its sources, and then you bounce a level 4 or lower. The thing about the reason I play the deck the way I do is because I play 4 Kendo and 4 this Beowolfmon. This effect gives itself jamming. So what you can do is, for whatever reason, you're set to 3 memory, you have a tamer, and you have the Koji, or whatever, you can Digivolve for 2, gain the jamming. Digivolve for 1, swing, gain the memory off of Koji, bring this back for another play later, and now you bounce a level 4 or 5, and he lives the swing, unless you hit an option. If you hit an option, then like there's just not much you can do to survive that. But this, like, people underestimate the idea that back in blue hybrid format, I feel like they underestimated the idea that your Beo dying on the swing is it sets you back so much for your Beo to die in the swing. So to resolve that, you have this Kendo, and your Beo guarantee living the swings when it's going for a cheap play is huge. And now think about it. If you're only set to 3 memory, Digivolve for 2, Digivolve for 1, swing, gain the memory off of Koji. He's guaranteed to live the swing unless it's an option. And then you're at 1 memory at this point, Digivolve for 4, bounce their level 4, or bounce their level 5, restand the Magna, and now you have a safe body on board, ready to swing twice next turn for whatever reason, or however you can set that up. And they can't swing into him, they have to use another option, which if they have it, great, but like sometimes you can't play around everything, but just a simple play like that, you put them to 3 with that play. And you have a standing level 6 that's ready to bounce something or restand things or make your opponent's life really difficult. So, with that being said, he is the boss monster. It is blue hybrid. We're playing, let me clean up the board here. We're playing 4 MagnaGarurumon. He's the boss monster. He can restand anything. People forget that. There are plenty of times where I use it to restand this jamming guy, or I use it to restand this jamming guy, or I use it to restand him because he is not once per turn. So if sometimes you have a board state where you have multiple sources under him and you just swing, restand him with this effect, he lives the swing because he has jamming because of Kendo or something weird, you know? Basically, he can swing twice and he can get his effect twice if you have the right circumstances, and that's all I'm saying. People forget that. It's more powerful than you think. So, you play 4, it's the boss monster of the deck. How can you not play the boss monster of the deck, right? After that, 1 blitz for game. It's a classic. Everyone knows it. It's just like everyone says nowadays, hybrid for game, blitz for game. You need to run it. You need to run this alt art because this one's the dabbing alt art. So when you win with this card, you dab on your opponent and then you just make them feel a little worse about the loss. You just, little toxic BM right there. No, don't be BM, but it is funny to me. And then after that, we got our tamers. Right now we play 1 Sora Joe. Sometimes the 2 memory comes up. Sora stripping is always decent. And just being able to extend your plays, being set to 5 or something because of X, Sora, and Joe just makes your opponent really have to think about their turns differently, and making their turns awkward for your opponent is always a good thing. You always want your opponent to second guess hard playing that Gatomon or that body on board that isn't going to have a source. And this even won me a game against Mastamon one time because I checked the Zord defeat, I went into hard playing this, and for the rest of the game I was gaining 2 memory on top of everything else they were trying to do, and Mastamon's already an expensive style deck, so they were just giving me so much memory per turn. Next card is, I'm a simp for this card. We play it at 4, we're playing for the best green tamer in the game, Davis. Being set to 3 is beyond important, especially in EX02. I just feel like every format, being set to 3 becomes more and more important. D-Reapers is going to choke you to 1 every turn. You need to have a memory setter. You need to find the memory setter. Blue Hybrid is the best deck to find tamers in your deck. So you want to see it, and you play multiple, like, okay, sure, like, oh, I drew all 4. Like, I'm sorry, you drew 4 cards, and now you have easy Digivolve targets, because sometimes if it's your only Davis, it's awkward to Digivolve on top of it. But if you got 2 Davis, you Digivolve on top, no problem. Just things to think about. I love the card. Now the other tamer, like I said, this is an anti-nerd list. Tommy's a nerd, we don't play Tommy. For Koji. The only bad thing about this card is hard playing it early game. Sometimes it feels weird to just play a tamer and nothing happens. But there are plenty of times in this game where it's later on in the game, I hard play a Koji and then instantly use its main effect to Digivolve into a MagnaGarurumon, bounce a MagnaGarurumon from its sources to bounce their level 6 and just completely shut them out of the game out of nowhere. You won't be able to swing that turn, of course, because you just played it, but you dealt with a whole level 6, and that always feels good. Is inheritable, is insane. It is one of the things that makes this deck run so smoothly. Like I said, Digivolve the Kendo on top, Digivolve the Beowolf on top, and then you're swinging, gaining that memory back, and then you're able to Digivolve into the Magna, and all that, and you put your opponent to 3, all because of its inheritable. And then on top of that, if that wasn't enough, Koji makes him unblockable. Like, there's so many times, remember, we play MagnaGarurumon and Blitz. If we go into this guy and we use MagnaGarurumon or whatever, for whatever reason we need to, that's 3 unblockable swings. You can win so many games off of just that alone. Then after that, it's just options, really. We're looking at playing 2 blue memory boosts. I feel like people in this format have really come around to the idea of memory manipulation and boost turns, right? Like being able to hard play this, search or hybrid to help fuel your Magna or your Koji effect, whatever it is, and then being able to extend your turn, a future turn with 2 memory is just really strong. And I feel like people are finally coming around to the idea that having memory boosts in your deck is just going to be able to just generate such strong turns for your deck that you're going to win more games because of it. So play 2 boosts. You don't want to play too many. This effect also stands up your Magna. This counts as a card coming to your hand when you play it. So please try to remember that. After that, this Hammer Spark, 2 Hammer Sparks, the classic. Since BT1 or since the starter decks, this has been a good card. So you play good cards. And then you also play banned cards, right? Because Ice Wall is a hell of a drug. You play it at the maximum that you can. If it was at 3, I would probably try to play it at 3 because it just wins you games. Enough said. So, and then babies. It's really unfortunate that Bandai decided that Blue only needed Upamon, and they haven't printed any more babies other than Upamon, so it's just weird, but it's our only option. It's the only blue baby in the game, really, so you play for Upamon. Drawing cards is good. Enough said, right? No 5 babies. Ideally, you're winning before that. And like I said, you can only have 4 copies of a card, and there's no other baby to play. So I don't really understand that rule of being able to have 5 babies. There's no other babies for blue. It's weird. I don't know. Bandai's weird. And then, yeah, I feel like I explained some of the combos and some of the things you can think about for the deck. Maybe I can go into more of it, or maybe I should just record myself and talk about it more. I don't know. But the last thing is I wanted to think some text that I was thinking about to deal with EX02 and specifically Yellow Hybrid and D-Reaper Yellow Hybrid or whatever. So here are 3 cards I was thinking about. D-Reaper, you need a way to kind of deal with the Gatekeeper. That is honestly the scariest part of that deck. If they establish a Gatekeeper with the -1 security effect active, you just lose the game. So you need to find answers to that. I was thinking about putting in Kakaitis Breaths. I was thinking about Susanomon, and I'm thinking about plug-in A, mostly because if I can gain the 1 check and do a Magna play, and then that's 3 checks I could potentially do with if I have the Blitz in hand. So just little things, or this could help me close the game out faster. So we'll just have to see. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Just something to think about. You want to just try to find ways to negate that -1 security from 1 Gatekeeper. And hopefully you're beating them before they can establish 2 active Gatekeepers. I don't know, I need more testing against that deck. And then Susano serves the same purpose. He's already got +2 inherently. So when you think about it, he counters 3 Gatekeepers on board. So hopefully that's enough. I was thinking about running him at 2, but I'm just not sure where I'd fit him in. Maybe I cut on the rookies, maybe I cut on my level 5s, or maybe I don't know where I'm gonna fit them in. Maybe I have to cut Blitz for this. We'll have to see. And then jamming. Jamming's always good. It's a good card, the security effect I like. So I've been messing around with, giving my Magna jamming, and then this drawing me a card. This also finds you Tamers as the security effect, which, blue hybrid. So stuff to think about. It's also good in Garurumon. So remember the beginning part of this text says if you have a Tamer, you can ignore that it's red. So blue hybrid, you're always gonna have a Tamer. So think about using this card in Garurumon, your hybrid decks, or any of the plugins really, but you get what I'm saying. But that's it. Let me know what you guys think. I love this deck. I loved it since it came out. I was sad that the version that was winning all the tournaments and stuff was the Tommy version, because I still think Magna is a really strong card, and it's underrated. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, Koji sucks, putting 5 cards from your hand under it's just as bad. And it's like, it's only bad if you play bad. Like if you digivolve your Magna from a Koji effect and then lose the stack, that's on you. You probably played wrong, or you were playing, or ideally you played it knowing the risk and prepared for the risk. So I don't know. I win all the time with this deck. I got 9th at DigiFest with a version of this that played a little more of the Tommies and the Korikakus, but I did not play Madoki Betamon and stuff. So I got 9th at DigiFest Miami with a version of this list. And yeah, I think that was my most successful. And I win locals all the time, or I go undefeated locals all the time, and people are always surprised that I'm not playing all the toxic shit. So like, share, subscribe. Let me know what else you guys want me to ramble about. I'm purely doing this video because I keep getting asked to do it, and I mean that in a good way. Like, if there's content you want to see from me, I'm more than happy to try to do a version of it in my own rambly style, because I can't stay on topic. I'm sorry. So like, share, subscribe. Let me know. Please comment. Let me know what you want from me, man. Because I'm just here trying to make a YouTube channel for my friends to enjoy. So thanks.